Hey, this is Roy Richardson, and I am the host of the One-Off Technology Podcast. Each week, we cover different tech topics in the news, and we talk about how those topics should be important to you, and we try to explain them in plain English, and we do our humble best, and so hopefully you'll enjoy this. This also is... later we do as a podcast, and so I take the best of the live feed and then go off and turn into a podcast. And I see I'm having some camera strangeness, so let's take a look here and see if I can fix that real quick. I love when tech happens, right? Tech happens. So I'm gonna go here and tweak this little gremlin and say, please stop doing what you're doing. Oh, wow. That gremlin's not happy. I'm not happy with what the gremlin's doing right now. It has zoomed me in. Let's go turn that off. Okay, autofocus is off. Let's get the zoom gone. There we go. Wow. That was awesome, wasn't it? Okay. Camera settings. Camera settings are cool. All right. Hey, so let's get started. Welcome to the modern age. Guess what? Nearly everything that you use has microchips in them. Your cell phone, you probably knew. Your microwave, maybe even your electric toothbrush. And then things went weird. But think about how many computer chips are in your car. Serious. So modern cars have on average 25 chips in them. It's crazy. Oops. Stop that. I love when things try to help me. All right. Modern cars have at least 25 chips in them, and some cars have up to 50. So electronic fuel injection, your dashboard with all the digital readings, Bluetooth. How many of us love to hook up our phones to our cars using Bluetooth? Not to mention, all the laptops and computers we rushed to get when the pandemic said you will work from home or you will attend school virtual. Today, we talk about cashing in the microchips, bad tracking, and wow, the earth sure looks different from 37 years ago. And so, welcome to the One-Off Technology Podcast. This is the One-Off Technology Podcast with your host, Roy Richardson. Each week we cover topics in the news and how they affect you. Sit back, relax, and open your mind. It's only my second live stream, so... All right. And thank you. So again, this is the One-Off Technology Podcast with your host, Roy Richardson. And... so, we're going to talk about, you ever heard of just-in-time manufacturing? It's a concept when you only order so much raw materials or parts for the manufacturing process, so you don't get stuck if a product doesn't sell, and also you don't wind up with warehouses full of raw materials. When the pandemic struck the auto industry sensed it was going to sell a lot less cars and canceled orders, so the chip industry slowed down production. And still other chip factories retooled. And so we all went remote, and they started making everything they could for computers and mobile devices. So the auto industry is having to close plants now for periods of time because they don't have enough chips in order to make these cars. So they can't make cars without these chips. And as the pandemic hasn't gone away completely, computers and mobile device makers have snapped up supplies. So the issue here is that all of these auto industries have made our cars so computer enabled now. And so, our cars actually have black boxes that record everything that we do in them. A lot of them have built-in GPS systems, auto and entertainment systems, and so it's impossible for them to make these things without these chips. And so literally people are being laid off and factories are closing while they work through getting all these chips made. And the process, when people were out of work, they stopped making chips as well. And so we're hurting. The process of making chips, it's highly specialized. It's using robotics and automation and extreme clean room environments. They can't have they can't have any dust in these rooms because the chips are so susceptible to that dust. This means these chip companies can only make so much, and the cost to build such facilities are billions. That's with a B, a big B, billions of dollars to construct, and they often take years to complete construction and all the testing that has to be done before they can go into full production. In the end, this means our devices will start to cost more and orders of new cars will drag out. You won't have inventory that you can go off and buy these cars, quickly anymore. And the craziest is this truck production seems to be hit the hardest. So I just never think of trucks as having that many electrical chips in them, but it's true. And it may take longer for you to get your Tesla. If you're lucky enough to be able to have one of those, it may take longer for you to get your iPads or your iPhones or your Android phones. Samsung's already announced that their appliances, and they have so many appliances now with so many chips. Think about the refrigerator with an LCD screen where it's showing you a camera that shows you what's in your fridge, and you can actually type notes and surf the internet right there on your refrigerator. Those are all computer chips. And so the problem is that the laws of supply and demand means that used vehicles are going to be harder to get because they're going to go up in price because people couldn't buy new cars when they wanted to. The U.S. government is stepping in and is trying to throw money at the situation, but time is the enemy in this case. And we will see the price of things go up, and we will see supply and demand squeeze other industries. So this is a story that we'll probably be revisiting here soon. Okay. Next up, Chapter 2. So I started using Google in 2001 or so. Before Google, my search engine of choice was AltaVista. And AltaVista was owned by a company called Digital Equipment Corporation, which was the best engineering company, but couldn't market themselves out of a paper bag. And over time, Compaq bought AltaVista, and they bought Digital Equipment Corporation, and then HP bought Compaq. But in between that time, AltaVista had a chance to be the preeminent search engine, and Compaq just didn't know how to manage it. They wound up being like thousands of links on a page like Yahoo wound up eventually being, and making the world crazy. So if they hadn't screwed that up, maybe, just maybe. But you see, Google is the top dog in search. 90% of all traffic, and all search traffic, 90% of all search traffic happens on Google. Sure, you can search on Bing or Yahoo or even DuckDuckGo, which is not a bad search engine, and they say they don't spy on you. And so, yeah. By the way, the number 2 search engine in the world, YouTube. But that's a story for another day. So the internet giants have slowly been beat up by the EU and other countries for privacy concerns. And Congress has sort of picked up the mantra, though they are a bit tech challenged. They're definitely not tech savvy. And Apple has been pushing to say that they're the king of privacy, and the next iOS update is going to lock it down where apps have to have your permission to use your data. Before that, apps kind of asked you on a one-by-one basis, said, hey, can I use your data? I'm going to use your data. You didn't have to ask, but you will notice more and more apps are asking, can they have access to your data? Now, I don't know if Apple is doing this for altruistic reasons or if, what exactly is going on. But Apple is going to try to be the privacy company. And so browsers out there and others, Safari, Firefox, Brave, and others out there have been beating the drums on third-party tracking. So whether you know this or not, when you go to Google and you search for something and then you follow that link, well, Google's using cookies, little text files it writes to your computer browser cache, to your computer, and it's following you by those links. It knows where you're going, it knows where you've been, that type of thing. When you visit websites, they'll be tracking cookies on websites. It's crazy. Facebook and Google use these tracking cookies, and the craziness is you can actually be tracked by Facebook and never have even created an account on Facebook. So on a previous episode, we talked about what Google knows about you. There's an ad site you can go to that will literally tell you what Google thinks that they know about you and what advertisers they are targeting you with. So Google knows a range of how old I am. It knows I'm male. It knows websites I've visited and different things, and so it's kind of crazy. But Google decided that they too could get in on the privacy thing. And to handle that, they're coming out with a new way of anonymously tracking us. So the point being is they're saying, well, we're going to track you, but there'll be no information going to our advertisers. That's who they sell. They sell that information, that tracking information to advertisers in order to target you. So if you're a football fan, they know you're a football fan. And so, hey, you're going to get ads for things that football fans like, And so all that's going to show up. But so Google's going to create a new tracking thing, which they're calling, I'm having phone trouble here. Yes, I am using notes. I have notes. Notes are cool. And yeah, so anyway, it's called FLoC. It's FLoC. It stands for Federated Learning of Cohorts. So basically, it's like a token that Google's going to have on your computer. And Google says they will use it to lump your browsing with that of thousands of others. And basically, if your group of thousands like football and visit sports sites a lot, then Google's going to let them know that, hey, by the way, this 1,000 people go to football websites or sports websites, and so you should tailor ads to them, and we'll gladly save the advertising space in order to do it. And they supposedly won't know it's you. So they can't build a digital profile of you. And Google keeps selling targeted ads from this. Yes, but so this is untested technology, and we don't know the evil that can be done with this. We're the guinea pigs. Remember, we've talked about it before. If you're getting it for free, then you are the product. Okay. Recently, for all the browsers out there that are not Google Chrome, they're saying they're not going to support this technology. So, example, Edge and Firefox and Safari and Brave say they're not going to support this technology. So, the question is, does your privacy matter enough to continue to use Chrome browser, or is it time to switch to a different browser that maybe cares more about your privacy? And this is the dilemma for me. So here's my minor rant. I hate to say it, but I like Microsoft Edge. I have been in the anti-Microsoft camp on many fronts for a long time. There's been things where I thought Microsoft was very greedy and did things and had crazy licensing terms. Boy, howdy, if you've ever read the licensing terms, and the fact that they can change will make you crazy. And I have loathed Internet Explorer with the passion of 1,000 suns. But Microsoft Edge is Chromium based. Now, Chromium is an open source project that a lot of browsers, including Google Chrome, is based off of. So basically, it was originally created by Google, and they open sourced it. So if you're familiar with open source, it's free for anybody to use and change as long as they share anything they do positive out there. And so I've been using Microsoft Edge, and it's crazy, but it's a pretty good browser. And I will tell you, and Microsoft claims that they're going to be seeking ways to improve your privacy. So, is it time to switch browsers? Is it time to abandon Chrome? I would say the jury's still out. But I will say, on my Mac, I'm using Safari more and more because when I'm recording videos, it doesn't use the memory. It's not the memory hog that Chrome is. Chrome is a memory hog, and it doesn't eat my Mac's lunch when I'm trying to record videos. On Windows, I'm going back and forth between Edge and Chrome. Edge doesn't use as much memory, but I'm also basically using it for Chrome for less things so I can balance out the memory use so it doesn't swamp all my memory. So it's pretty bad when you see Chrome using 7 gig of memory on a computer that only has 8 gig of memory. So, yeah. And then next, Google Search. Is it time to abandon Google Search? This is a tough call. I'm not ready to let go. I have been well versed in the Google Search Ninja tools for so long. I have used Google and have been so successful at searching Google that people I work with and people I know call me the Googler because I'm able to find the answer. It's like X-Files. The answer's out there somewhere. I'm going to find it. I know where it is. This is a tough call, and I'm not really... I can't quit you, Chrome. I just can't quit you. Anyway, so... yeah, it's going to be hard to let go of Chrome. I'm just going to say that. Chapter 3. So, in happy Google news, I will say, here's some happy Google news. My love for Google Maps is undying. I absolutely love Google Maps. I know on a previous podcast, I talked about using Google with Google Star Wars Edition, the R2-D2 droid phone. Well, one of the cool things is it had an overlay that turned your car into an X-Wing fighter going down the road. I love that. I'd love to have that feature again, by the way, Google. Just thought I'd say if you want to throw it back out there, maybe you got to go talk to George, or Disney now to see if they'll let you do it. But I loved that. That was awesome. So this past week, Google Maps announced they had a partnership with NASA, the U.S. Geological Society, the EU, and other groups. And they obtained access to their caches of aerial photos from a lot of places around the world. And now, thanks to that cache, in some parts of the world, you can go on Google Maps and see up to the last 37 years in time-lapse. So you literally can go to a spot and have it play forward how the landscape has changed the last 37 years. And you see that in major cases, you see that, urban sprawl has changed some areas so dramatically, and climate change has changed areas so dramatically. This is a really cool thing. I really love looking at these time lapses of different places. It's kind of like, you see Facebook groups, they'll post pictures of your town from long ago, and they'll show you like stores and stuff that's not there anymore. And it's really cool to see Google Maps with the ability to do that. And just really neat. I know it doesn't get you anywhere because you're not traveling with 37-year-old map information, but to see that time lapse, it's just so cool. I really think it's cool, and I will have links in my show notes. So please go and look at my show notes. You can go look at those links. They're really cool, really amazing. I think you'll like it. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you saw me live, thank you so much for watching. And this is season 3, episode 6 of the One-Off Technology.
This is the One-Off Technology Podcast with your host, Roy Richardson. Each week we cover topics in the news and how they affect you. Sit back, relax, and open your mind.
I am also known as a tech troublemaker. I'm out there. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. I am putting more and more videos out there. Also, ring the bell. You'll get notifications when I'm going live or when I post a new video. That stuff will be out there. And so please come on out there, hit the buttons, and watch my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I am out on Twitter and Instagram at A Roy Richardson. That is at A Roy Richardson. I had a button for that. I don't know what I did with it, but it's here somewhere. Oh no, here you go. That is my handle online. At A Roy Richardson on Twitter and on Instagram. Look for me there. I'll try to sync it up on Facebook if you're one of those Facebook people. Thank you so much for watching again. Have a great time. Bye.